This is Odin 303. I'm here on Tekkit Classic in the town of Midgaria. And I'm going to show you my little town here in the rich district, in the fancy district as I like to call it. Just to help people get new ideas or just check out what other people are doing. And I'm here with my good friend Gollum, who's pointing out the sea. And I really don't know why, but maybe something will come. Good luck there, buddy. Anyway. Over there is a old district that I showed in an earlier video. If you want to know what's going on over there, you should definitely check it out. But here I'm going to start with this home, which is converted into an embassy when I sold it to my friend who added the purple on it and the horrible wiring, but he's learning. Anyway, like I said before, I like to use the fencing for nice archways, a good accent piece, especially on the walls and stuff like that. In the rich district, I blocked off each land with different kind of type of walls and stuff like that to kind of give it a nice kind of come together kind of close feel when you walk, down the hallways and the street, stuff like that. As you're walking by, it kind of gives it more of like that's their land, their own property. But anyway, I'll start with this home here, like I said before, which was converted, and I mixed marble bricks with basalt bricks together, give it a black and white nice contrast. Also kind of kept it simple and clean. Kind of a little bit of a modern feel because of that, but I like how it turned out. I used just regular basalt to divide the first floor and the second floor. You can kind of see it all the way through. And then also used half blocks to kind of give accent pieces out of oak wood. And also using fencing for the balcony, as you can see there. And I used oak wood for also the roof. And but my favorite thing about this house is actually this piece, the roofing itself, because it starts on the top of the first floor, goes all the way up to the highest point, and then comes back down and ends on the second floor. So it kind of gives it a visually interesting look and different feel. And also it gives it a staggered look from the beginning walkway, the floor area, into like the first floor into the part of the second floor as it's added on. I also kind of made these kind of pointed tops to it by cutting up and making single blocks. Kind of give it a nice accent piece to it all. And I used oak wood, or spruce wood, sorry, logs for the support beam in the middle, and then just used, again, the oak, or it might be spruce, I could be wrong. But anyway, it's just another accent piece by making an interesting pattern on top of the white wool for the pitched roof. Also, there was a water area already here. You can see they're already having fun in it. And I just wanted to I liked using with the elements already there and just adding to it. So it's all built around it instead of like all filled in and kind of made it kind of stagnant. So I like keeping what was already there and just adding to it, make it an actual piece of the property. I used right here the iron fencing. Just to give it a different feel, different look instead of being just plain old wood. Just wanted something new and different and kind of break up the monotony of the wall there. But you can see all the way around. It's another side entrance, so they don't have to always go to the front, they can go to the side. And then the back here, I used fencing as an accent piece again on top of the archway, which I really like how it turned out. And it's always good to play around with different materials. It's always interesting what you might find out. And then again, I added on, I used the fencing all the way up through and kind of connected to the top, kind of give it another visual stimulus, something to look at instead of being so plain. And also, this is supposed to be the rich district, so I was trying to make things more interesting and fancy looking. Again, I used the pillars here to kind of fill in the gap instead of just using, again, the logs all the way through. Then we'll go over here to this house, which I kept very plain, very simple, but the entrance is what I really liked the most about this. Again, just using the fencing, messing around, give it a different look, different feel instead of being so blocky. This house is very plain, very simple, using spruce wood, sorry, not spruce, but birch wood, along with the birch planks, and then oak planks along the base to divide the floors and give it another look. Another is the marble bricks, along with the fencing all the way around. Came in the back and you used, again, the fencing for the actual support for the balcony on the second floor. And yeah, this one's very plain. I'll probably come back and add more to it, give it a more interesting look. But over here, is the club, the Lucky 7 Club, which I'm still working on the sign. The sign doesn't seem to work very well on my server. I gotta look into that. But besides that, I love messing around with the redstone power. There's a lot of things like the timers and the randomizers and other little devices that are really fun to mess around with and make interesting things happen. I'll show you what they look like. Oh, went past it, I guess. Oh, there it is. Okay, see, there's like a timer, there's a sequencer, you know, so on and so forth. The gates where you can actually make things happen to what signal is coming to it and stuff like that. Then the randomizers, but these things too are actually very useful, especially this one, because you can jump over each other, the wires, so they won't connect to each other, which can be a very big pain if you're trying to make something very complex like my club here. I'll show you up here inside what I've done for all this. You're probably wondering. This is how they work. You know, one can go under and one can go over, so you don't have to build like a bridge over and make it very cluttered and really hard to work with, but this makes it very easy. You see how they flash back and forth. It all comes back to this here, which is a timer, and you can set the time and make it do all kinds of different things. I mean, it's open to your imagination at that point. And then also these things are really useful when you start getting into these. This is just a really thinly cut piece of wood or any kind of material, and they could be placed in the same block as the redstone. So it makes it very useful to keep them from touching each other when you want to lay them right next to each other when you don't have a lot of room or anything like that. Let me go outside and I'll show you the rest of the building here. And I used birchwood, as you can see, as the supports and also an accent piece. I also used the redstone wires themselves as an accent piece all the way through. I used to be very, like, all this used to light up and flash and all that, but my friend, his computer couldn't really take it. Every time he came over here, it just crashed his computer. There was so much going on. So, but on the back side here, it was a fun inside. You can see the flashing lights and everything, which I'll show you in a minute here. But again, just using, 3 different types of wood. I used oak wood here, and then birch logs, and then the jungle planks, which I really like how this texture pack makes them look, because it's really different from what the rest of the wood looks like. So it really gives it a nice accent pieces when you really want to change up the monotony of like solid walls or different floors and stuff. Like here I used it as the base, as you can see. I'll go inside and I'll show you the floor. I used hollow logs, which are a lot of the pieces you can get the cores cut out of them, so you can actually run wires and stuff like that through them when you want to hide them, and definitely don't want to have people see how you did it. You can hide them by using these flat pieces of wood, or even these hollowed cores, the hollow core to all the planks, and all kinds of different ways you can do it. And underneath I wired up a whole crazy mess. I'll show you in a second here, but it's just all kinds of underneath is just crazy. It took me a long time to get this right, how to get it to sequence and not run into each other, not one big solid light going on. But it's the club. Got the flashing lights on the walls. Underneath there's lights. Got a balcony so people come up and get away from the dancing and just have a drink or just talk to each other. If they really want to get away from it all, they can go out back here, which is a glass balcony. They can just sit out and enjoy the water, enjoy the ocean, the breeze, the sound. It's all lovely. But if they really want to get to a secret dance place with their loved one, they can come down here and the floor lights up as they walk around. This is it looks so complex, but it's so easy to do. And all you really have to do is place a light block, then no peg block, any kind of block, stone block. I use stone because I use stone pressure pads, but stone block, light block, so on and so forth, make a checkerboard pattern. And all you have to do is put pressure plates down, and it lights up the areas around it when you walk. Oh, really fun. What's really funny is at night, sometimes you'll see mobs down there just having a good time and stepping on everything. It's really funny to see. Oops, that's going down. Hold on a second. Boop. Anyway, and that's the dance club, and this over here is just a bunch of lamps that I for the walkway, kind of in front of the dance club. Also leads to the lighthouse, which there it is, lighthouse and the fishing village over there. But this too is all wired to a power hub across the city there, and I'll show you at a later date. But it's basically you get jacketed wired like wood. There's wood covered jackets. Wires. I can't even speak right. Wires with wood covers on it, and then there's like stone ones and so on and so forth that actually look like posts, and it's very useful if you want to wire up a bunch of things together and not be blatantly obvious that's wired up together. Along with these along the walkway here. And then over here is another house for sale. If you know anybody, you can definitely let me know and I'll sell them to them. But basically I wanted this to be a jungle themed one, so I just used mainly jungle wood with birch wood. The birch kind of gives it a nice contrast. And, mainly stuck with the logs, but the walkway is very interesting. So I just put lights underneath that, and then I cut up the blocks to give it so it shines through. And I carried it all the way through into the house, as you can see. It ends up being a giant arrow, but, you can do all kinds of patterns on there and make what you want. But another good idea if you want to try that. On the outside, I just stuck with jungle wood, obviously, and jungle logs and the birch wood. But I also wanted to make other interesting aspects of it, and I wanted the windows to be one of the main ones. And that's what I did here. It's like kind of a plus sign or a cross, and then I stretched from the top of the second floor all the way down to the floor with this on both sides, and then I just looked for interesting patterns where a window would be interesting looking, and so kind of did the corners here, and then also in the center here there's a middle part that you can see, and it's kind of a thin helm, a very thin home, but it's one of my favorites. Just very unique in itself and different from a standard kind of pitched roof and colonial kind of style homes. And then, this is the center part of my town, and where everyone can gather, enjoy themselves, play games, so on and so forth, stand on walls like that going there. But just come and enjoy themselves and gather together. And I wanted a nice centerpiece, so I went with a waterfall that on each side it looks different. So it's kind of a staggered step inside. I used the just stone pavers or the slabs, kind of stack them up, just make an interesting pattern inside. And then on each side it's just different. So you always get a different view on each side. So something different. And then the center here I just used cut up marble blocks, kind of make an interesting pattern, using various sizes to give it its own appeal to it, and use the base behind it all as just stone blocks to give it a nice contrast. And then again, I used cut up pieces of the marble blocks and made interesting lanterns out of it all. And again, I had the same idea of using the wood jacketed wires for the posts, and then used stone cut out blocks because they feed right through it, and it's seamless, so you can't even see the wires actually going down there. And over here is the marketplace, my open air market, and I wanted to change it completely different from everything else to make it stand out. It's so people can see it, and it looks lively and it's bright, and also kind of clean. I wanted it to be very clean and sterile kind of feel because it's a nice clean market. Buy produce, food here, whatever it is. But so I went with white, mainly white. So I used marble bricks, obviously, for the walls all the way around, and then I used the iron fencing, which is the white one, and made archways. But I wanted to go one above the block so it all connects together. So it's a very nice pattern. It came out to be looking very nice, and I like that, how the white plays with the white on the marble bricks. But then also I wanted each one of the stalls to be unique in itself, so I wanted to go with different colors and all different heights, so it's not all visually the same height and looks like everything was built by one person. So I wanted a different feel for everything, so that's how I just played around with all the wool, tried to make it like their tents, and very easy to do, very fun, and also it was very lively. And That's part one of the rich district of Midgaria, and stay tuned for part two. Thank you for seeing the video, and bye!